going to be a ground ball taken by the first baseman as Casal will have the first put out of the afternoon, and the leadoff hitter is retired here to begin the start of the game. So again, Coach, happy to have you here on the broadcast on a day where both teams are going to be desperate here for a victory.
Oh, it's a pleasure being here, and it's great to see Fort Lee in action. I don't get a chance to see it that often, but so here I am, and I'm going to enjoy it.
So the leadoff hitter was Mike Buddha, who grounded out to first base for the first out of the game. Now it's going to be Sean Guzman. Guzman, number 27, the center fielder hitting from the left side. He'll pop that one up into shallow center field. Ranging over to make the putout is going to be Jae-Woo Park. And Shulman has retired the first two hitters that he's faced to begin today's game here at the top of the first.
Hey, great start for Dylan, right? Getting ahead of hitters right out of the box, and that's nothing better you can do is get the hitters put the ball in play.
On a day where we're trying to fight through potential rain droplets here at the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex in Fort Lee. 2 outs, nobody on. Swing and a miss by the third place hitter, number 25, Richie Martinez, the first baseman. These two teams are going to be very familiar with one another as they will be playing the second time in a couple days as they get things going here with back-to-back games in Fort Lee this afternoon. The 1-1 from the righty Shulman. Hits the outside corner, and he's now quickly ahead of Martinez, 1-2. Shulman 1-1 with a 1.56 ERA, 6 strikeouts, but 10 walks on the season. Just trying to frame that on the outside corner was McCrary. 2-2 the count. A ground out and a fly out accounting for the first 2 outs of today's ball game. That one's popped up, but it will sail out of play foul. So Shulman still a strike away from retiring the Scarlets in order 1-2-3. Out into the backstop again. The 2 head coaches for Ridgefield Park, it's going to be Scott Papetti. And for Fort Lee, their head coach in his 4th season at the helm of the Bridgemen baseball program is Peter Kraljic Jr. Martinez, the big first baseman, heading from the right side. Shulman looking for the finishing pitch. That one will be popped up, coming in, and it's going to be falling in for a base hit right in front of the center fielder, Jae-Woo Park. Did not know, Coach, if he was going to break and maybe get to him, but it kind of just deadened and flew into harmless center field.
Yeah, that was off the end of the bat. That was a tough break for Fort Lee. Head in the count, and, it happens sometimes. You got him ahead of the count and off the end of the bat, and it's hard to read that, hard to judge that.
So Martinez secures the first hit of the day for Ridgefield Park. That time, lined foul down the first base line as Casal was trying to make a play on it. The outfield behind the pitcher Shulman. In left field, Nakajima. Park in center. Barakos in right. Rivera, Katayama, Rosa, and Casal in the infield. McCrary doing the catching. Missing just to the outside. 1-1 the count. Against the cleanup hitter, the third baseman today for Ridgefield Park, number 3, Joel Freddy De La Cruz. This is a Ridgefield Park team that has been starred for offense this season, averaging only 2.5 runs per game. Ground ball to the shortstop and thrown over to second base in time for the force out. Katayama getting it over to Rosa. And that will retire the side. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning here in Fort Lee. It's scoreless between Ridgefield Park and Fort Lee as you're watching Fort Lee baseball here on YouTube. So again, welcome everyone to Dr. Alan W. Sugarman Sports Complex here in Fort Lee, New Jersey, the setting for today's baseball contest between Fort Lee and Ridgefield Park. Both teams in search of their first league victory of the season, as Fort Lee put up a 0 there in the top portion of the first inning, and now we'll head to the bottom of the first where the Bridgemen will get their first plate appearance, as they're going to be going up against the starting pitcher, Michael Buddha, the sophomore, as he'll be the lefty trying to figure out the Bridgemen lineup here today. For Fort Lee, they're going to be led off by J-Woo Park, the center fielder, Keizo Katayama, the shortstop, hitting second, Joseph Rosa, the leading hitter on the team, hitting third. The pitcher, Dylan Shulman, batting cleanup. Stefano Casal hitting fifth and playing first. Javier Rivera hitting sixth and playing third. Achilles Barakos hitting seventh, playing right field. Adrian McCrary doing the catching, hitting eighth. And Louis Nakajima hitting ninth and playing in left field. So, Coach, Fort Lee got what they were looking for there in the top portion of the first inning, only surrendering one hit. But more importantly, not allowing a run. It gives them an opportunity again, as they've been doing the last couple of games, scoring early here and trying to get that early advantage. Put the pressure on the Scarlets.
Bridgemen need to be aggressive here in the first inning.
That time going around with a check swing was J-Woo Park. Park, the center fielder, hitting .278 on the season, 5 hits and 4 runs scored. Takes that breaking ball inside for a strike, and he's now behind quickly, 0-2. And Buddha gets him leaning, strike 3 looking. 1, 2, 3 there. Did not take any long time, and Park is retired for the first out.
Did not. Really good curveball, heading the count right there. And as a hitter, you got to be looking outside with the 2-strike count.
That brings up number 17, Keizo Katayama, the sophomore. Playing shortstop today as Shulman is pitching on the mound for Fort Lee. Katayama lays off that first pitch outside the strike zone from Buddha, 1-0. Katayama hitting .250 on the season, but leads Fort Lee, having earned 6 walks so far this season. He hits the ground ball deep in the hole to short, deflects off the glove of the shortstop into left field for a base hit. Fort Lee's first base runner of the afternoon here, a runner on first with 1 away in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, he turned on that fastball and put it right between the hole, and that's exactly what Fort Lee needs to do. Hit ball hard, put it in play.
And I think, Coach, that even if Aguilar, the shortstop, had fielded that cleanly, he would have had no shot of throwing out Katayama as he hit that deep at short.
No way. No way would have had him.
Here's going to be the third place hitter now for Fort Lee, and Joseph Rosa. The second baseman, number 14, Rosa, leading the team in so many offensive categories, hitting .412 on the season, 9 RBIs, 7 hits, 3 doubles, and also has the lone triple on the season. He's the power threat in this lineup as he lays off that pitch.
With a lefty on the mound now, Katayama, he should be doing like a one-way lead here, trying to get their move, trying to see his move early so they can get jumps, maybe steal bases.
That pitch missing low inside as Dembski, the catcher, was trying to frame that pitch. Fort Lee has had success running this year. 12 out of 15 in stolen base opportunities for the Bridgemen. That pitch missing high as well. So now Buddha, who is off and running with a 1-2-3 strikeout to begin the game, has now walked Rosa after allowing a single, and now runners at first and second with only 1 away.
Hey, that's how you got to do it. Working a count. I mean, be aggressive, but got to swing at strikes. That's what it takes.
That'll bring up Dylan Shulman. Shulman, the pitcher here today, hitting fourth, .278 hitter, 5 hits, 3 RBIs on the season. That time, a generous strike there as Buddha gets that breaking ball just to hit it at the kneecap level.
You want to take curveballs earlier in the count. Now that he sees it, next time through, he should be able to drive it.
Runners at first and second. Nobody out. Oh, one out here, excuse me. 0-0 game in the bottom of the first. Foul tip into the catcher's mitt. So now Shulman behind in the at-bat. Shulman drove in a run in their lone victory this season against Ridgefield. Now looking for their second victory here against Ridgefield Park today. Lays off that breaking ball in the dirt. Good job by the catcher, Dembski, of getting in front of that one, not allowing the runners to advance to second and third.
Let's see if Shulman can go the other way. There's a big hole between first and second there with the second baseman holding the runner on.
Shulman laying off that one as Buddha was trying to expand the strike zone a little bit on the far side. The umpire not giving him that call. So 2-2 the count now against Shulman. His first plate appearance of the afternoon. The 2-2. He'll line that one to right field for a base hit. Runner will go around third base, and he'll drive in the first run of the day. As also Rosa will advance down to third base, so great hitting there by Shulman, just as you predicted, Coach. And Fort Lee will jump out to an early 1-0 lead on the RBI single.
Well, it looks like Buddha's like trying to throw a pitch outside, and they're giving that hole, so that's just good baseball. And Fort Lee takes advantage of it.
So, it was Katayama scoring after he had opened up the hitting barrage here for Fort Lee with his base hit to shortstop. Now a swing and a miss by Stefano Casal, the first baseman here today. Casal, who we saw as the pitcher record last week in the game against Westwood. Casal is great at the plate. .350 hitter on the season, 7 hits, 5 RBIs, also with 3 doubles on the year. He'll ground that one to the second baseman who steps on one. And is it going to be a double play? And it is a big-time double play there for Ridgefield Park. And that will get the Scarlets out of the inning, Coach, as Casal was trying to at least beat that throw at first to give them an opportunity to score a second run in the inning. They'll just have to settle for one.
Unfortunately, it's got to hustle that out because that's a run right there if he beats it out. And it was close. It was a bang-bang play, and unfortunately that call did not go the Bridgemen's way.
So Budo gets the ground ball double play that he was so desperately looking for, and that will end it for the first inning. We'll head to the top of the second. 1-0 lead for Fort Lee as you're watching Bridgemen Baseball here on YouTube. So Dylan Shulman has helped his own cause out with an RBI single in the bottom of the first inning to stake his team out to a 1-0 lead as we get to the top of the second inning here in Fort Lee. Fort Lee playing host to the Scarlets of Ridgefield Park. Dan Long, Mike LoPresti, happy that you could join us here on this Fort Lee Bridgemen baseball broadcast.
Hey, I love being here. Hope we can be here some more in the future.
We'd definitely love to have you here, Coach. As we're trying to fight through here as there's rain in the forecast, but it should be fine throughout this game. Ridgefield Park had one hit in that first inning, and now it's going to be their shortstop, Sammy Aguilar, stepping in for the first time. Shulman Had a couple of ground ball outs, a fly out to center field. The only hit he allowed was just off the knob of the bat there into shallow center field. Aguilar, first ball swinging, and it deflects it off the glove of the third baseman Rivera for the leadoff single to begin the second inning on the first pitch. And then an errant throw back to the pitcher allows Aguilar to head all the way down to second base. So a mental miscue there for Fort Lee, as they were just trying to get it back in after it was a simple ball that was hit to the right side. So now Aguilar with his hustle stands down in scoring position to begin this top portion of the second inning.
That's unfortunate. Javier Rivera at third almost made a sparkling play, but let's see if Schulman can get out of this.
The catcher, Kyle Dembski, now hitting. Dembski hitting from the right side, number 2, and Schulman now having to settle his nerves down after surrendering the second hit of the day. Now the runner in scoring position to begin this second inning. 1-0 lead for Fort Lee. Ridgefield Park, like we said, has been starved offensively this season. Would love to get a big hit here to tie it up quickly in this one, as Schulman missing just high and wide. The Scarlets have been outscored in their last 2 games by a 32-1 margin. Trailing here now 1-0.
Let's hope they weren't saving him for us here.
Trying to load up in this rivalry showdown, a game that matters in the big North American division. Both teams trying to win their first game in league contest. That time it's a base hit to center field. Coming around third to score easily is going to be Aguilar. And this game is tied 1-1, and with the throw that went down close to the third base side, it allows the catcher Dembski to hustle his way into second base, and now he takes place in scoring position with this game tied.
Right out of Bridgemen are a little rattled. You know, Schulman fell behind, so he had to throw in over the plate and leads to a base hit. But on that play right there, he got hit the cutoff man, middle of the field, and that prevents that batter runner from getting to second base.
It's just those little things that start to pile up, right, Coach? That missing the cutoff man, after Aguilar had the leadoff hit, the ball being thrown around and not just thrown right back to Schulman on the mound. Those things pile up, and in the course of a game, teams try to take advantage of those little things and leads to big innings.
It happens all the time. And you know, Fort Lee, it's a young team, so let's hope they can learn from their mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen, but that's the whole idea. You got to limit your mistakes.
So this is going to be Brandon Puerto-Real, the DH here today, stepping in for the first time, hitting 7th in the lineup. So the Scarlets have begun this second inning hitting. Sammy Aguilar got a leadoff single. Kyle Dembski fouled with a single, and both turned it into doubles. An opportunity, and now it looks like either it was ball 4 or Puerto-Real got clipped a little bit, but that will send him down to first base. So Schulman trying to find his way here in the second inning. He now faces runners at first and second with still nobody out. And already 1 run home here for Ridgefield Park.
Well, he set up a force, but now at the end of the order, you may see a bunt here. You never know.
A healthy cut instead by Alex Ortiz, the 8th place hitter. Ortiz, the right fielder, hitting from the right side. 0-1 the count against Ortiz.
You know, in the modern game, bunting is like a lost art, but this is just a key opportunity. If you lay one down, get 2 runners in scoring position, but I guess, you know, today's game, they're just swinging from the heels and hoping to get an extra base hit and knock in 2.
Especially with someone who's hitting from his point in the lineup, whereas the 8th place hitter, this was always a predetermined bunt situation to try to move the runners up. Instead, Ortiz swinging all the way. He's now behind in the count, 0-2. Schulman gets the big strikeout, his first strikeout of the afternoon on 3 pitches, and gets his first hard-earned out of the second, 1 away with runners still at first and second.
You know, particularly these 2 teams, base hits are a rarity, right? It's hard to get on base, so you want to have productive outs, and that's what the bunt gives you. But here you go. That proves it right there. You swung, and you ended up not putting the ball in play at all.
That'll bring up Shea Lucino. Here's a throw down to third in plenty of time, and he's going to be retired there. Good throw there by McCrary. as he had it in plenty of time in advance of the stolen base opportunity. And now there's 2 outs here in the top of the second inning.
That was on the money. What a great play, McCrary there. And, Ridgefield Park rolling the dice and came up snake eyes.
They did the double steal, so the lone runner on the base path now is standing at second base, but the lead runner retired trying to steal third base with 1 out. Here's the pop-up. Going for it is going to be the second baseman, Rosa, and much like we saw in the bottom portion of the first inning, what could have been a potentially bigger inning just falls to 1 run across the board for Ridgefield Park. They do tie the score up on an RBI single by Kyle Dembski, and that'll bring us to the bottom of the second inning now with a 1-1 ball game. We head to the bottom of the second, 1-1 the score as Ridgefield Park just scored 1 run in the top portion of the second inning. Now swinging and missing, it's going to be Javier Rivera, the third baseman, in his first plate appearance for Fairleigh Dickinson. We saw him in last week's game against Westwood flash a little leather down to the hot corner. See if he can add that to his stroke here. Grounds it down to short base, taking a little time to throw over, and just getting it in time over there was the shortstop Lucino. And there's 1 away here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, Rivera, he took an outside pitch, tried to pull an outside pitch, still almost beat it out. He really hustled down there. He has some wheels.
Excuse me, it was Aguilar making the play at shortstop, as Rivera was trying to leg out an infield single after that one was hit to the shortstop. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Achilles Barakos. Barakos swings and misses on that first offering from Buddha. 0-1 the count. Barakos hitting .400 on the season, 4 hits, 4 RBIs. Had his big RBI performance against Ridgefield. All 4 of his RBIs coming in that one game as he swings and misses there. So Barakos getting the start in this lineup today for Fort Lee. Taken inside corner for strike 3 looking, and that will be the second strikeout of the ball game for Buddha. And now quickly coached 2 away here for Fort Lee in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, Southpaw Buddha, man, he's sitting outside, fastball's outside, and he with 2 strikes now. It's like the second time where he's coming with breaking ball on the inside corner. Fort Lee needs to just hit early in the count, make the ball go deeper, and he'll go the other way.
Second strikeout of the game for Buddha. Both of them have caught the batters looking, as that time he floats in the curveball for the outside corner strike against the catcher, Adrian McCrary. First plate appearance for McCrary. Lays off that one, but also it hits the outside corner. So McCrary already behind 0-2. And Buddha quickly trying to retire Fort Lee in order here in the second. McCrary hitting .200 on the season. That one skips its way into the dirt for the first ball, 1-2. Fort Lee and Ridgefield Park meeting for the first time since the 2019 season when each team split the two meetings, with each team winning on the road. There's McCrary with the hot shot to second base, handled by Lucino. Over in time for the quick 1-2-3 inning. So Ridgefield Park scores in the top portion of the second, and they retire Fort Lee in order to end the bottom of the second. We'll head to the top of the third. Here from the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex, 1-1 ball game. We head to the top of the third inning. It's 1-1 the score between Ridgefield Park and Fort Lee. Fort Lee striking for one in the first inning. Ridgefield Park scoring their lone run last inning in the second. As we head back to the top of the order, we go with Mike Buddha, the pitcher. Grounded out to first his last time up, 0 for 1 this afternoon. As we have some light rain here in the forecast right now. Nice swing and a miss there, elicited by Shulman. As the two pitchers squaring off against one another here in this at-bat, as Shulman tries to get that one for the inside corner and does. So he's ahead of the count now against Buddha. I believe it's 1-2. Buddha rips that one into right field for a base hit. Ranging over to make the play is Baracos to keep Buddha at bay. But Mike Buddha has done a nice job on the mound and now collecting his first base hit of the day on a shot to right field for another leadoff single. Second time in this game that Ridgefield Park has had their leadoff hitter reach safely. As now Sean Guzman, the center fielder, will step in. He flew out to center his first time up, 0-1. Guzman with the foul ball into the backstop, 0-1.
These horseshoe backstops is necessary when we have all the residents in the area and traffic going around. But a lot of times, outs are robbed by that type of a backstop.
Squaring around to bunt. Shulman fielding his position, throwing over, taking a lot of time, and it deflects off the glove of Casal. And then Buddha will take that advantage, head down to third base. And with that throw, it might have gotten away from Fort Lee even more so if it didn't hit the coach in the third base coaching box. And now, Ridgefield Park with runners at the corners with nobody out.
Yeah, that's a break right there, but that's a tough play. Dylan, what he needs to do on that play, he can't take that crow hop. He has to pick and throw. He doesn't have that much time.
So that hesitation cost him the opportunity, and we were just kind of talking about the lost art form of a bunt and a sacrifice bunt in that situation, and Guzman doing it there. First ball swinging as Martinez pops it up in the infield, ranging over to make the play is the second baseman Rosa. So the pop-up does not allow the lead runner to score, tag from third base, and Shulman does get that first big out here to begin the top of the third.
Yeah, that was a big out. So now a ground ball can get him out of the inning.
Buddha led off the inning with a base hit to right after the sacrifice was put down by Guzman. And the throwing error, he rounded second, went all the way down to third. Runners at the corners as Shulman will throw over to first, not in time, trying to keep an eye on Sean Guzman. Guzman, the center fielder, who has speed. We'll see if he's going to be trying to steal second base. Already one stolen base today for Ridgefield Park, as that one's caromed into the top of the backstop by the cleanup hitter, Joel Freddy De La Cruz. He grounded out to the shortstop for a force out back in his first plate appearance. The lone victory this season for Ridgefield Park was against North Arlington. That throw is low in the dirt and will allow the runner to steal second base. So Guzman does get what he wanted, which is to get his way down to second base and, most importantly, Coach, stay out of a potential double play opportunity.
Yeah, they picked a great pitch to steal. It was a breaking pitch, and there's nothing Fortley can do about it.
That one is popped up. That'll send the outfielders back. Center fielder Park will call him off, make the catch, and tagging from third and scoring the go-ahead run is Mike Buddha.
Right there in that situation, the Bridgemen will trade an out for a run any day. And it was a great play by the center fielder, getting to it, and then hitting the cut and preventing the runner on second to advancing to third.
So De La Cruz does his job, gets the fly ball, sacrifice fly to center field. Now there's two away with the lead runner down at second base now. First pitch, a breaking pitch from Shulman, missing to the outside, 1-0. So Buddha led off the inning with a single, got his way over to third base after the sacrifice bunt and a throwing error, and then was driven home on the sac fly from Freddy De La Cruz. Now the shortstop, Sammy Aguilar. Aguilar, hot shot, right past the shortstop, into right field for a base hit. Left field, as that will continue to roll all the way down. Aguilar with the speed already around second. He's at third. He's being waved home for an inside the park home run. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time. And a two-run homer for Sammy Aguilar. And Ridgefield Park adds on to their scoring output here in the top of the third, as that was a blistering hot shot to the short, and it just kept on rolling, Coach, here on the fast new turf.
Yeah, that was awesome hitting there, but he took advantage of the situation where it's raining a little bit on the turf field, and it just skipped away. And it's tough to play defense. You got to circle the ball a little bit, try to cut off the angle, but the ball just passed him up, hit too hard.
Two-run homer now for Aguilar. 3 runs home in the inning for Ridgefield Park, as they have now taken a 4-1 lead here on the road against Fort Lee and have scored the last 4 unanswered runs in this game after they trailed early after 1-0. Demski, the catcher, who had an RBI single in the last inning in the second, 1 for 1 this afternoon. So De La Cruz brought home the first run of the inning on the sacrifice fly, and then just moments ago, Sammy Aguilar, using his speed to his advantage and legging out a 2-run inside the park home run, as McCrary wants to talk things over with his pitcher, as Shulman, Coach, has just lost a little of that location that was to his benefit in the beginning of this game. He's just trying to find that location again.
Yeah, it looks like he's flying open a little bit. His mechanics are a little off right now, and so his arm is dragging. So let's see if he can correct it.
Demski looking for his second hit of the game. Little chin music there Backs him off the plate from the inside.
You see, so that's what happens when your front side flies open, your arm drags, so you either low and away or high and inside.
Missing to the outside, so ball 4 there to Dembski, who draws the 2-out walk. And now Ridgefield Park with a runner on first with 2 away here in the top of the 3rd inning, trying to extend their lead even more here as they lead 4-1.
I mean, Shulman's an experienced player. He should be able to correct it. Let's see what he does from the stretch now. Being in the stretch sometimes helps keep the front side closed.
That was the first walk surrendered by Shulman here today. He has given up 5 hits in the ball game, including that most recent 2-run homer in the inside the park variety.
That was one of the examples where that might have been an infield pop-up if it wasn't for the backstop. But again, it's a necessity to have that type of a backstop in this type of a field.
Porterell, the DH, hitting again. He reached safely last time, and he floats that one just in between the shortstop and the third baseman. Soft hits just still count. And Ridgefield Park trying to build on this big inning here, and they now have runners at first and second with 2 away.
That was a great pitch. The hitter definitely has bees in his hands stinging. That was right off the hands. But, just perfect spot, perfect place. Hit it where they ain't.
That'll bring up Alex Ortiz, the 8th place hitter, who struck out his first time up, the lone strikeout so far in the game for Shulman. So Shulman has given up 3 hits in this inning to go along with the 3 runs. Trying to secure the final out to get to the bottom of the 3rd. Missing low on that one. Ortiz had runners at first and second his last time up in the 2nd inning. We thought maybe a prime opportunity for a sacrifice, but he struck out on 3 pitches. That time he swings, grounds it to short, underhand toss for the force out at second base. Will retire the side, but not before the Scarlets of Ridgefield Park push across 3 runs in the top of the 3rd inning. The big blow, the inside the park 2-run homer by shortstop Sammy Aguilar. And that'll send us to the bottom of the 3rd with Ridgefield Park leading Fort Lee 4-1 as you're watching Bridgemen Baseball here on YouTube. To the bottom of the 3rd we go, and Louis Nakajima, the left fielder, the 9th place hitter, leading things off here in his first plate appearance of the afternoon for Fort Lee, who are trying to dig themselves out of a hole. They trail by 3, 4-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd.
All right, down runs. Nakajima needs to work the count here and get on base. He has to start a rally. That's what the Bridgemen need.
Nakajima, a 154 hitter on the season, 2 hits. As Buddha, who started off that last inning and eventually scored the go-ahead run that made it 2-1, is really starting to work fast here, Coach, and trying to mow down the lineup. As he retired Fort Lee in order his last inning.
Yeah, Buddha's in a groove right now, and he does catch the ball and delivers it. So Fort Lee might want to try to, get him out of his groove.
Both teams trying to snap losing streaks on the season. That one is going to be a strikeout as the catcher dropped the ball, but then eventually administered the tag on Nakajima, so there's the strikeout. And now dating back to the first inning, Buddha has retired the last 5 he's faced in order, 1 away to begin the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, Buddha is has like 2 different curveballs going right now, and he's feeding that fastball on the outside corner. Right now he's tough.
3 strikeouts in the game for Buddha as we head back to the top of the order. Jae-Woo Park 0 for 1. He struck out looking back in the first inning for Fort Lee. Park lunging forward to get a piece of that, but behind in the count 0-2. Ridgefield Park comes in having lost 4 in a row. Fort Lee having lost 3 in a row. Both teams looking for their first win since April 24th. The 0-2. That's hot shot. A high hopper mishandled at third, and that will allow Park to get his first hit of the game, as that was going to be a tough play to make on the high chopper down to the hot corner, as De La Cruz then could not field it cleanly. So 1 out base runner now for Fort Lee as they try to attempt the comeback here, trailing 4-1. Keizo Kanayama, what a base hit his first time up, came around to score. There's the throw down to second and well away from the bag. That's going to be a stolen base for Jae-Woo Park, as Park is in safely with his 3rd stolen base in 5 opportunities this season.
Coach Krauser trying to get something going. Got a man in scoring position pretty quickly.
Trying to get those runs back after Ridgefield Park put up a 3 spot at the top of the 3rd. As Buddha trying to settle things down, missing to the outside. Katayama got his base hit to short his first time up. And again, as we said, eventually came around to score in the Dylan Shulman RBI single.
Fort Lee has the heart of the order up now. Let's see if they cash in.
Buddha has now surrendered 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 run, and has struck out 3. Fake the bunt. The ball is dropped, and it's going to be ball 4 anyway. So now Katayama reaches safely. Runners on first and second with 1 away here in the bottom of the 3rd. And the heart of the Bridgemen order coming up here. Joseph Rosa, who drew a walk his first time up. And Rosa is the leading RBI threat of this Fort Lee lineup with 9 runs driven in this season. That one gets away from the catcher. And that will allow Fort Lee to have the runners advance down to 2nd and 3rd, and still with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Hey, that's great base running. Anytime there's a dirt ball and you see the catcher had a tough time keeping it in front of him, you got to take the base. Got to go for it, particularly if you're behind runs.
Dembski having a little trouble in the last couple of pitches. Here's another dirt ball, like you mentioned, Coach. This time, Dembski doing a good job of fielding that one, but he's going to ask for time to try to talk things over and settle down his pitcher, who was in that groove. The beginning of this inning, Coach, he had retired 5 in a row, but ever since then, Park with a base hit, the walk earned by Katayama, and now he's been a little erratic here against Rosa.
Yeah, sometimes one little thing can shake up a pitcher. Now he's a little bit off.
Fort Lee scoring once in the first inning. We're retired in order in the second, now trailing 4-1, but runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 away here. And missing low. So Rosa ahead of the count here with Dylan Shulman waiting on deck. Fort Lee trying to claw their way right back into this game, trailing 4-1. Buddha gets the get-me-over breaking pitch for a strike.
Yeah, that's pitching backwards there, behind the count. He threw a breaking pitch. But all day long, his breaking pitch has been thrown for strikes.
3-1 count, though, in favor of Rosa. He lays off that one, and he'll draw a walk. It's back-to-back walk surrendered now by Buddha. And the bases are loaded, Coach.
Well, the table's set, right? Good. You need a big wrap right here, a knock to get Fort Lee back in the game. Couldn't have been a better person up there than the number 4 hitter.
Dylan Shulman who has now driven in 4 runs this season with his RBI single earlier in this game. He's 1 for 1. Shulman swinging and fouling that one back. 0-1 the count.
That's being aggressive in there. Pitchers from the windup, though, so you might want to see Fort Lee runners take a more aggressive lead from the windup.
Park down at third, Katayama at second, Rosa standing at first. Breaking pitch, missing high, 1-1 the count now. Nowhere to put Shulman with the bases loaded, 1 away here. Bottom of the third, Fort Lee trailing 4-1. Shulman, with that offering, it's going to be a pop-up to the second baseman who will range over to make the putout, and an enormous second out of this inning now for the pitcher, Buddha.
Yeah, that was infield fly roll, so the batter was automatically out. So when you're a hitter and the base is loaded, the pressure is all on the pitcher. So sometimes you try to be a little over-aggressive and you get yourself out. I think that might have happened that time to Dillon, but still had a good swing at it.
That'll bring up the 5th place hitter, Stefano Casal, who hit into a double play to end the first inning. First ball swinging. He'll pop that one up. The left fielder calling off and making the play as Vasquez helps Buddha get out of trouble. He had the bases loaded with 1 out, and Ridgefield Park does not surrender a single run there in the bottom of the 3rd inning, as we will head to the 4th with Ridgefield Park on top of Fort Lee by a score of 4-1. We head to the top of the 4th inning, 4-1 lead for Ridgefield Park. The Scarlets scoring once in the second, 3 times in the third to give them a 4-1 advantage, as Dylan Shulman toes the rubber for the beginning of his 4th inning of work, missing on the first pitch.
Fort Lee's knocking on the door, so right now we need a bagel up there. We need a 0.
Shea Lucino, the second baseman, taking that strike, 1-1 count. Lucino popped up to second base back in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1 this afternoon. Shulman just missing on the outside as he was looking for that outside corner strike.
Yeah, that was a great pitch. I wonder if Lucino's parents are Met fans, being named his son Shea.
As Lucino flies that one up, but it just hooks and stays up in the air enough for Nakajima to range over to left center field for the putout. Line drive out there by Lucino, 1 away. I was thinking the same thing, the same way that it was spelled Shea, and it's like, he has to be a Mets fan. Or at least they intended him to be one. I don't know if he's currently a Mets fan.
Well, Chipper of the Braves named his kid Shea because he owned the Mets.
Back to the top of the order we go with Mike Buddha. Buddha had a single in the 3rd and came around to score. The opposing pitcher also at the plate, Swings and misses on that pitch from Shulman. Out into the backstop and also ricocheted off the back of the head of the umpire, who seems to be okay, gives the thumbs up. And Shulman ahead of the count here against Mike Buda. Buda 1 for 2 this afternoon with a single, also grounded out to first, back in the first. He'll fly that one up. Ranging over in foul territory is the first baseman Casal for the putout. And Shulman quickly has retired the first two he's faced here in the top of the fourth.
Secret of being a successful pitcher is when you got that second out, you got to get the third out back to back. Second and third out back to back. Get your guys hitting as quick as they can.
Sean Guzman gets the ground ball, and here could potentially be the 1-2-3 inning, but airmailed the throw from short by Kanayama. Again, he took a little too much time, then had to rush it at the end, and that sailed on him, so gone by the wayside is the potential 1-2-3 inning, and the error will keep hope alive here for Ridgefield Park in the top of the fourth.
That ball wasn't hit hard, and what he needed to do was charge the ball and get the ball with momentum and throw the ball, on the run a little bit. So what happened was he waited back on the ball, and then by the time he set, he had to make a real tough play.
Richie Martinez, the first baseman, standing in, and these Ridgefield Park Scarlets, they have been ultra aggressive here, Coach LoPresti, that they are swinging first ball. That could have been, again, a very quick inning for Shulman after the last hitter, Guzman, also swung at the first pitch he saw. As Shulman misses that one in the dirt, 1-1.
Look, they got the lead. They're confident, and they're seeing balls over the plate, and they're hacking at it, which is just that's pretty good baseball. It's good strategy.
And for Ridgefield Park, a team that has been so sorely in need of offense, they've been very confident today. And there's that hit that goes past the center fielder. Park will have to try to track it down. The runner will be sent around third and will score. And there will be an RBI double with 2 outs here by Richie Martinez, scoring Sean Guzman from first base. So Ridgefield Park, that should have been retired in this inning, do produce with 2 outs and increase their lead now to 5-1.
Yeah, that's an unearned run, and it's unfortunate. Again, ball skipped through the outfielders, then wet turf, and the ball just skid, and they couldn't catch up to it.
They say in golf you have to deal with fast greens sometimes. Well, the fast greens in this outfield on this field turf, it is blisteringly fast, and the outfielders for Fort Lee have been really trying to track things down here this afternoon.
Yeah, the ball was scorched, though, but even though it was line drive in the gap, it's difficult to make that perfect cut off the ball.
Joel Freddy De La Cruz, the third baseman, 0 for 2 this afternoon, stepping in. As Shulman trying to put out the fire here with only one run allowed so far in this fourth inning. But all coming with 2 outs in this frame. Martinez standing down at second base. That pitch missing to the inside. Well, Shulman 1 out away from getting through 4 innings. But Ridgefield Park scoring here 5 times in this game. There's a strike from Shulman. De La Cruz hitting from the right side. That almost hit him as it goes for ball 4. So now Ridgefield Park with runners at first and second, still with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth inning, and leading 5-1.
Shulman's thrown a lot of pitches, but, that's not a bad play right there. Set up a force.
That'll bring up Sammy Aguilar, though. Aguilar 2 for 2 today. His last time up, hit a 2-run inside the park home run, as he hit it just in between the center and left fielders, and that just kept on running all the way down the line, and Aguilar used that speed to easily make it home. Throw down to third in time. Big play there after Ridgefield Park was trying to advance on a potential wild pitch, but it's the catcher McCrary showing off the cannon there in the second time, throwing out a Ridgefield Park would-be base stealer at third base. That will end the inning, Coach, but damage already done.
Yeah, McCrary threw a strike again. You know what they say? You never want to have the third out of third. But that was really, maybe that would motivate Fort Lee to get a big rally going right here.
Aguilar will start off the 5th inning for Ridgefield Park as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Fort Lee now trailing 5-1 as you're watching Fort Lee Bridgemen baseball on YouTube. Bottom of the 4th inning now, and Fort Lee trailing 5-1. Dan Long, Mike LoPresti, happy that you could join us here on this Fort Lee baseball broadcast. 3rd home game of the season for the Bridgemen, looking for their first win here at home this season, as Javier Rivera behind the at-bat here now 0-2. Rivera grounded out to short his first time up, back in the 2nd inning. Fort Lee had a big opportunity in the last inning, had the bases loaded with 1 out, but could not produce a run. As Mike Buddha has done a nice job of pitching out of trouble here this afternoon for the Scarlets of Ridgefield Park. Buddha trying to elicit the pop-up as that goes into the backstop. Buddha allowed a run in the 1st inning. Retired Fort Lee in order in the 2nd, and then, like I said, with runners at 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, got a pop-up and then a fly-out. Did not allow a single run in the 3rd inning, and has been staked out to a 5-1 advantage himself. Both these teams chasing Cliffside Park, who sit atop the Big North American Division standings, 4-0 in league play this year. Swing and a miss, and the 4th strikeout of the day here for Buddha. And there's 1 away to begin the bottom of the 4th inning.
Buddha continues to mix it up. You know, he stays outside, then he finishes him with an inside pitch.
So Rivera goes down swinging. That'll bring up the right fielder, Achilles Baracos. Baracos struck out looking back in the 2nd inning, 0-1 this afternoon. The lefty sets and fires. Baracos just fouling off a piece of that one as it caroms to the backstop as well. The catcher, Adrian McCrary, waiting on deck. He's the 8th place hitter behind Baracos. As Fort Lee trying to rally here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Swings and misses as Baracos was fooled with that delivery from Buddha. 1-2 count now. The 1-2 off speed just dropped by Dembski as he was trying to look for that outside corner again. Missing low in the dirt, and credit Baracos now. He's run the count full after falling behind early 1-2 in the at-bat. It's now 3-2. The right fielder hitting from the right side for Fort Lee. Hits that one for a base hit into left field. Great at-bat there by Baracos. As Achilles collects the hit for Fort Lee, and now the Bridgemen have a runner on first with 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th.
That was a great at-bat. Not only the base hit, but he got deep in the count, and at this part of the game, you got to get the pitcher to throw a lot of pitches. get to their bullpen.
And here comes up Adrian McCrary. We have seen his defensive skills behind home plate here today, throwing out a pair of would-be base stealers at third base this afternoon, keeping it a 5-1 game. As he sees that one skip behind him for a ball 1-0. McCrary grounded out to second, back in the second inning, 0-1 this afternoon. McCrary again with a base hit, this time to left field. So Fort Lee coach has really been jumping on those pitches from Buddha, and they have found success in depositing them into left field.
Yeah, it looks like he's a different pitcher when he's from the stretch. So, so again, it comes down multiple men on base. Let's keep the rally going.
Fort Lee with back-to-back singles to left field here in the bottom of the fourth inning with one out. They've now collected 5 hits against Mike Buddha this afternoon, but have only struck for 1 run, that coming back in the first inning. Nakajima, the left fielder, the 9th place hitter who struck out looking his last time up, was to offer at the pitch with a bunt, but bunts it into the backstop.
Hey, not a bad strategy, right? Third base has to stay back, right? You can't charge because then nobody's covering the bag for the force there. If a bunt goes down at third base line, it's going to be bases loaded.
As the left-hand hitter squares again, and the curveball, though, in the dirt, as Nakajima lays off that pitch, evening the at-bat at 1-1. J-Woo Park, the leadoff hitter, is waiting on deck if Nakajima can keep things going here with 1 away in the bottom of the fourth inning. Barakos, with 1 out, had a base hit to left field. Adrian McCrary fouled him with a base hit to left. There's the bunt down the third base line. It's rolling, and Buddha just waits for it to go foul.
That's a tough break. Almost a perfect run, a blueprint. Just trickled foul there. 6 inches toward right field, and it's bases loaded.
And a risky play there by Buddha, but the right decision to allow that to keep on rolling and eventually pick it up when it went in foul territory. So now Nakajima has to swing here, laying off that pitch. Wouldn't think, Coach, that he's going to be trying to put down the bunt with 2 strikes against him. It's a 2-2 count. That would be risky.
Hey, you never know. I've seen crazier things.
But 2-2, Nakajima setting that one to deep center field, ranging over to make the play. For the second out of the inning was Guzman. So Nakajima gave it a try and flied it out to deep center field, but good defensive placement there by Guzman, and now there's 2 away with runners still at first and second here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
All right, there's an example right there. It looked like he might have been able to tag up and get the base, but you don't want third out at third. Never know.
J-Woo Park, the center fielder for Fort Lee, 1 for 2 this afternoon, had a base hit in the third inning. Takes the first pitch high for a ball, 1-0. Struck out looking in his first plate appearance back in the first inning. A base hit here might drive in a run from second base for Fort Lee. That one is nubbed down the first base line, and that will hook foul. As Ridgefield Park also just trying to see if it will carry him back into fair territory.
That was Nakajima really hit the ball on the screws there. He just got a little underneath it.
Park swings and misses, and now Buddha 1 strike away from once again putting a 0 on the board against Fort Lee. Despite Fort Lee producing a couple of base hits and having runners on in this inning. Can they deliver the clutch 2-out hit as Ridgefield Park has done here in this game? Just lunging forward, getting a piece of it to stay alive in the at-bat was J-Woo Park.
Got a battle, right? Down a few runs. Got to get that guy in.
Park, a 278 hitter. Also swiped his 3rd stolen base of the season, so he's got the speed. Can he deliver here? Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Buddha retires that advancement for Fort Lee, and in doing so, picks up his 5th strikeout of the ball game. So we're through 4 innings of play. We'll head to the top of the 5th with Ridgefield Park enjoying a 5-1 advantage here on the road in Fort Lee. So a new pitcher into the game now for Fort Lee is going to be number 17, Keizo Katayama, a sophomore right-hander. Switching now with Dylan Shulman as Katayama began this game at short. Now playing shortstop is going to be Shulman, who went 4 innings, allowing 5 runs against Ridgefield Park. So here comes Katayama, who we saw come into the game in relief last week against Westwood for Stefano Casal, who began that game against the Cardinals.
Plenty of game left. Plenty of time. Get back in the game.
Ridgefield Park has scored 5 unanswered runs in this game, a lot of which have come courtesy of this man, Sammy Aguilar, the shortstop who had the 2-run inside the park home run. Back in the 3rd inning, also collected a base hit, a single in the 2nd, 2 for 2. He was the man at the plate when a runner was thrown out to end the bottom of the 4th inning, trying to steal 3rd. Katayama fires the fastball strike. 1-1 the count now against Aguilar. Trying to fly that one into shallow center field. Beautiful play there by Jae-Woo Park. Got a late break on the ball, coach, but still had that speed necessary to make that closing speed happen for the putout.
Yeah, he definitely made up a lot of distance right there in a short amount of time. Nice slide and play. Awesome. Awesome play.
And dangerous, too, because if he doesn't make that play and it caroms behind him, that could be another inside the park home run for Aguilar with his blazing speed. So an even more clutch defensive play by the Bridgemen center fielder. That'll bring up now Kyle Dembski, the catcher. Takes that first curveball low to the outside for a ball, 1-0. Dembski had the RBI single back in the 2nd inning that tied the game up at 1-1. Also drew a walk and came around to score in the 3rd inning. Inside corner for a strike from Katayama. Two and 1 the count now against Dembski. Missing low to the outside, and Dembski a ball away from securing his 2nd walk of the afternoon. Here's a pop-up to center field again. A little easier play this time for Park. And quickly they're 2 away here in the top of the 5th.
I tell you, those like humpback line drives really aren't easy to judge, you know. And he made a great play there. Judged it right. First step in, kept going, right to the glove.
And from our vantage point, Coach, from here in Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex, we're in the press box that's normally for the football field. So we're right behind the center fielder, so we get a vantage point that normal broadcasters in baseball don't get to see. So we're kind of seeing those humpback line drives that you were talking about and seeing how hard it is to get that read on the break of the ball. As that's nubbed down the third base line, a throw over, and a nice play there by Rivera to get the ground ball out, and Katayama comes into the game and just puts down the order inside. 1-2-3. Nice job there in relief to begin the top of the fifth as we'll head to the bottom of the fifth as it remains a 5-1 lead for Ridgefield Park.
Yeah, he saw the bat off right there. It was a great play, great pitch, ready to go. Now, get some momentum, get a rally going. That's what we need right now.
As Fort Lee did exactly what they needed to do there, put up the 0 for the first time after Ridgefield Park had scored once in the second, 3 times in the third, and once in the fourth. Now the onus is on the offense here. And, Coach, it's not been a question of they just haven't been able to get players on base. Fort Lee has done that all throughout this afternoon, whether it be earning walks or just getting runners in scoring position. It's just been the inability to deliver that big hit that will bring them back in this game. They're hoping that now the fifth inning is where they turn things here.
Absolutely. There's a lot of that going around. If you're watching our major league teams in the area for the last couple of weeks, but looks like both of those teams turning around a little bit. But you're right, and that's what it comes down to, is just recognizing when there's men on base, the pressure is not on the hitter. The pressure's on the pitcher, and they can take advantage of that and get the pitcher to throw pitches in a good hitting zone and take advantage of it.
I'm Dan Long. That's Mike LoPresti. Happy that you could join us here for Fort Lee Baseball as we're bringing you all the sights and sounds here from Fort Lee. Their home game against Ridgefield Park. This will be the first of back-to-back games between these two sides, squaring off for the first time since 2019. First ball swinging is going to be the new pitcher, Katayama, who retired the Scarlets in order and is now looking to collect his second base hit of the game. He had a single back in the first hit of the game for Fort Lee. Drew a walk in the third. So 1 for 1 this afternoon. There's Katayama lining that into deep left center field for a base hit. That will continue to roll right in front of us in the football field. Katayama makes the turn from second and will slide in safely into third base. And it will be a run scored as the ball got away into the dugout of Fort Lee. So that will be a much-needed home run for Fort Lee as Katayama smoked that one into left center field, had the speed, and then an errant throw as he was sliding into third base, went into the dugout, and that will allow him to score the second run of the game for Fort Lee in the first one since the first. Joseph Rosa now stepping in. Rosa has collected a pair of walks in this game as Buddha has pitched carefully against the top hitter for Fort Lee. So the Bridgemen now pull closer. They're trailing 5-2. After Katayama's big hits and then the throwing error. Ground ball booted a bit, collecting and throwing over, and still in time to retire Rosa. Nice job there of Aguilar staying with it after bobbling it twice, but still had the arm strength to throw out Rosa.
He did. That was a really, really tough play there after he bobbled it. But the Bridgemen hit the ball on the screws now, 2 consecutive hitters, and that's usually leads to runs.
Dylan Shulman, who began this game as the starting pitcher for Fort Lee, now digging in. 1 for 2 this afternoon. He had an RBI single back in the first inning. Popped up to second base his last time up with the bases loaded as he fouls that into the backstop. So Buddha surrenders his second run of the game after that big hit by Katayama. And then the throwing error after it was looking like it was going to be a leadoff triple brought in Katayama with the second Bridgeman run of the game. Buddha missing to the outside as Shulman trying to continue the hitting exploits here for Fort Lee in this fifth inning. Missing high. I believe it's 3-1 the count now against Shulman. Lays off that one, and it is ball 4 after Buddha missing on the breaking pitch, trying to get that outside corner. So a one-out base runner now in the form of Dylan Shulman, and that'll bring up Stefano Casal. I wonder how much more we'll see of Mike Buddha, the left-hander who's started this game for Ridgefield Park, still on the mound. Missing low there against Casal.
I don't see anybody warming up.
Because like you mentioned, Coach, it was the first two hitters were hard-hit balls. The Katayama triple that turned into the run, and then obviously Joseph Rosa grounding out to short. And he's missing on the breaking pitches now low, as Casal and company are not going fishing for those low ones outside the strike zone. That time it's chopped down to third. It's going to be a tough play. Throw across the diamond. Casals with that speed legs it out. And Shulman will head down to third with a throw, carrying off the glove of Martinez the other way. So now something brewing here for Fort Lee with runners at the corners with only one out here and one run already home in the bottom of the fifth.
Well, that just hustled out of the box, right? And then, and then Shulman really taking advantage of that of the error on first base. Men on the corners, opportunity for a lot of different offensive plays now.
That'll bring up the third baseman, Javier Rivera. 0 for 2, he had grounded out to short back in the second inning and struck out swinging in the fourth. As Buddha missing high, wanted that pitch. As he has fallen behind in these at-bats now here in the fifth after really getting ahead of the hitters all throughout the beginning 4 innings of play. Misses again, high to the outside, throw down to third, not in time as Shulman was already standing on the bag, and in the process, that allows Casal to venture down to second base himself behind the play.
Great base running by Casal, awesome. Down and foul, back and fair. Now pitches from the windup again.
Missing low as Rivera laying off this one.
All right, so that means with the pitches from the windup, base hit will score 2 here. At least it should. Base hit to the outfield should score 2.
Runners at second and third, one out here in the bottom of the fifth. One run already produced by Fort Lee. They trail 5-2 in this game. Rivera staying off that one and will draw the walk. And now the bases are loaded, full of Bridgemen, and the potential go-ahead run now striding to home plate in the form of Achilles Barakos. And here's a mound visit, and we'll see if that will end the game here for Buddha.
Yeah, late in the game, looks like he's definitely tiring, right? He doesn't have the carry on his fastball anymore, and he's losing his control. But I don't see anybody warming up unless they're going to pull somebody in from the field cold. Buddha's probably going to be still in the game.
So if you're just joining us, fans, it was a 5-1 advantage heading here for Ridgefield Park into the bottom portion of this fifth inning. But Keizo Katayama had a triple that turned into a inside the park home run. With a run scored after a throwing error, scored him to lead off this inning. Rosa had a hard hit ball to short, but a nice play there by Aguilar threw him out. But following that, walks to Dylan Shulman, a single by Stefano Casal, and now a walk to Javier Rivera, has loaded the bases for Fort Lee with one out here in the bottom of the fifth. And Achilles Barakos, who's 1 for 2 today, lays off that first pitch, 1-0 the count. Barakos had a base hit his last time up in the fourth inning, struck out looking back in the second. And again, what has been in the arsenal for Buddha has been that first pitch strike. He has gone wild here since. There's a pop-up by Barakos, and once again an infield fly, as that will be secured by the first baseman Martinez, an enormous second out. And now it's still bases loaded, but 2 away in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, that one hurts, but hey, still, anybody with a bat can be productive here. Still in the rally.
Now it's going to be left to the catcher McCrary to try to bring home a couple of runs as that curveball is floated in for a strike.
McCrary single last time up, so he can do it again.
He'll hit it up the middle. It's got eyes into center field. 1 run will score. Casal trying to join the party. He does. And a 2-run, 2-out single there by the catcher. Adrian McCrary has brought Fort Lee right back in the thick of things. They now trail 5-4.
What a clutch hit right there. Just what the doctor ordered, that's for sure. Still 2 men on. Rally's still going.
You saw Buddha was trying to field his position there, Coach, and knowing that if he could have gotten a piece of that, that would have saved at least one of the other runs from scoring. But that one had eyes as it snuck into center field. And Shulman and Casal, 2 of the fastest runners on this Fort Lee team, were not going to be denied.
Tough play for the pitcher. That comebacker is never easy. And but right up the middle, that's best place to put it, men on base.
So McCrary delivers the big 2-out hit. So it looks like we might have a pinch hitter here in Ryan Irizarry. Irizarry, first ball swing, deflects that one off the third baseman's glove. That will allow Fort Lee to score the tying run. So the pinch hitter comes in and delivers a big hit there as it caroms off the glove of De La Cruz, who was hanging right on the line. And he could not field it cleanly. That allows the runner to score. And we are tied, Coach, at 5-5.
Just like that, it happened real quick, but the way it goes is you got to keep the line moving. When you get the rally going, it's just keep the line moving, and that's exactly what happened right there.
So Ryan Irizarry had come into the game hitting for Louis Nakajima, the left fielder, and his first pitch that he sees as a pinch hitter, he delivers with a carom off the glove of De La Cruz that allowed the tying run to score, and now the pitching move has been made by Ridgefield Park. And their coach, Scott Papetti, as he will looking like he'll make some other defensive moves as well. Right now, Buddha is still standing on the mound, as he might be waiting for another player to come on as the ball is tossed to him. As Buddha's day is done, but he will venture out into the outfield, and it looks like the new pitcher is going to be the former shortstop in Sam Aguilar, number 5. So what resilience here, Coach, in the bottom of the 5th inning. They got it going with that big hit from Katayama, but it looked like after the pop-up in the infields that Fort Lee may once again squander a great scoring opportunity with the bases loaded, but it's big-time plays by Adrian McCrary and thereby Ryan Irizarry have played at home the tying runs in this ballgame.
Hitting is contagious, so they just needed somebody to come through, and McCrary did that. And now you can see pinch hitter off the bench being aggressive. But that's not an easy position, not an easy situation there when you're a pinch hitter. Getting up there, you're off the bench, you're not in the groove of the game. And the secret of being a good hitter is see white, hit white. You're not taking any pitches in there. First strike, you're hacking. And that's exactly what Ryan did.
So now Sam Aguilar is going to be called on to try to secure that final out of the 5th inning. So Fort Lee, whose offense was dormant until this inning. They had scored once in the 1st inning, had 3 consecutive scoreless innings in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but now have erupted for 4 runs here on 2 big 2-out hits by Adrian McCrary and Ryan Irizarry to have pulled even here with the Scarlets after all the momentum was on the visitors' side for the majority of this game.
Yeah, now the Bridgemen have batted around. It looks like this pitcher has a little more velocity. He's coming from the other side. So what the hitters need to do right now is shorten their stroke and force him to throw strikes. He really didn't get a lot of warm-ups, right? He's just playing shortstop. I didn't see him warm up on the side at all. So right now, what you need to do is work the count a little bit, make him throw strikes, and if he's pumping them in there, shorten your stroke and put the ball in play.
So Derek Bauernschmidt, the sophomore, number 1, has come in to play shortstop. Buddha will go out to left field. And Duop is going to be the leadoff hitter, Jae-Woo Park. Park struck out his last time up. 1 for 3 this afternoon at the top of the lineup for Fort Lee. Runners at the corners, throw over to first, not in time.
That's a pretty good move. Really quick feet.
We saw the type of arm that Aguilar had on full display playing shortstop. Now we see him here throwing as he connects on that outside corner fastball. You see the velocity there on your screen. 0-1 the count against J-Woo Park.
Well, if the hitter falls behind, you probably might see a first and third play.
That time, a little too high there around neck level. 1-1 the count.
You know, very risky. You put not only a cold pitcher, put a cold shortstop in at the same time.
There's again the pickoff move. Not in time as they try to administer the tag. If you're Fort Lee, you cannot get picked off here with runners at the corners and 2 outs. That time fouled in the backstop by Park.
Well, that's the concept, right? They're trying to prevent a double steal here by trying to throw the backdoor pick. And let's see if the runner on third be a little more aggressive.
1-2 count against J-Woo Park with runners at the corners. 2 away here in the 5th inning. That one is bounced in the dirt. That will allow the runner to venture down from first to second as the runner from third did not want to risk it. It was not too far away from Dembski, the catcher. But now runners coach at second and third, and a big hit here could bring home the lead with 2 runs for J-Woo Park. Park will foul that one, or dribble it down to first base, as that will be handled on the underhand toss by Martinez to his pitcher, Aguilar. And Aguilar does secure that final out of the inning, but Fort Lee produces a 4-run 5th inning to tie this one up at 5-5.
Yeah, Aguilar did the job. He's an athlete out there, covered first greatly, but the Bridgemen, big, just what they needed. Big rally, a lot of runs, even score.
We will head to the 6th inning as Keizu Katayama will head back to the mounds with the game's score now tied at 5-all here in Big North American Division Baseball on YouTube. We head to the top of the 6th inning with Keizo Katayama beginning his 2nd inning of work now and pitching in a tie ball game. First pitch is going to be hardly hit but bounced right to the second baseman, Rosa. 1 pitch, 1 out here to begin the top of the 6th inning. Good ground ball out secured there by Katayama, who has come into this game, coach, for Dylan Shulman beginning in the 5th inning and has now retired the first 4 hitters he's faced.
Came in throwing strikes. That's what he had to do.
So that ground ball out. Just what they were looking for as Lucino will now bat here. Shea Lucino getting a ground ball. Softly hit to the second baseman. Rosa sets and fires, but mishandled at first. And that error there by Casal will give a base runner here for Ridgefield Park with 1 away in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Casal got caught again flat-footed there. You got to charge the ball. Ball wasn't hit hard, and you got to pick it and throw it. He spotted the runner, which became a distraction, and That's what led to an errant throw.
That'll bring up the leadoff hitter and Mike Buda. Buda, who's now in left field after starting this game off as the starting pitcher for Ridgefield Park. 1 for 3 here today. Fouled out to the first baseman Casal his last time up in the fourth. Had a base hit in the third and grounded out to third as well. Trying to get the bunt down and fouls that one back behind the umpire. So a runner at first with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. 5-5 ball game between Fort Lee and Ridgefield Park.
Kind of surprising. The third baseman up to show bunt there at 1 out.
That pitch is low from Katayama. As the rain is really starting to be its hardest during this game. There was threat of rain in the forecast all afternoon long. It was only a light rain to begin the beginning portion of this game, but now the rain is really coming down. As you can see there with our camera crew trying to wipe off the lens. There's a ground ball to second base. Rosa throws over in time that time as Casal able to complete the throw and the catch from the second baseman Rosa. Now there's 2 away with the ground ball advancing the lead runner down in scoring position now to second base.
Hey, right now, every time the ball is to turf, it's going to be wet, so it's really important. You got a good grip on the ball, good four-seam grip.
Sean Guzman now stepping in, the center fielder. Guzman has reached on a pair of different errors in this game. Back in the 3rd and 4th innings. Also flew out to center field back in the 1st inning. Fort Lee looking for the final out of this top of the 6th inning without allowing the go-ahead run to score. There was time called as Katayama was in his windup. Home plate umpire very generous there to give the batter the timeout. Katayama missing low and inside. So Guzman with an RBI opportunity himself. It's a 5-5 game. Ridgefield Park led this game 5-1. But then Fort Lee scored 4 times in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fouled into the backstop. As now Katayama looking for that closeout to this inning.
Same thing. When your team scores runs, it's up to the pitcher. Next inning, you got to put a 0 up on that scoreboard. Keep the momentum on your side.
Katayama, a ground ball pitcher here in this inning, has had 3 ground balls. Should have been out of the inning in order. That time it's going to be a fly ball to center field. Ranging back and seeing it all the way is Jaewoo Park. And Park will finish things off in the top portion of this 6th inning. As we will head to a rainy bottom of the 6th here at Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex, as we are still tied at 5-5.
Yeah, the big cat did his job, got the 0. So now let's see if the Bridgemen can take the lead.
So now we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Keizo Katayama, who got everything going in the last inning with that leadoff triple and scored on the throwing error, fouls that one into his shin, and he'll be a little worse for wear after that one. Home plate umpire will try to buy him a little more time as he can feel off that one. That definitely hurt. Katayama with a pair of hits here in this game. Had a single back in the 1st inning, drew a walk in the 3rd, and had that leadoff triple in the 5th inning and came around to score after, again, Ridgefield Park threw that into the Fort Lee dugout. So you had the leadoff run, and they would score 3 more times in that bottom of the 5th inning. Here with the rain trickling down in Fort Lee's 5-5 ball game between these league rivals, who will square off on Wednesday as well, that time in Ridgefield Park. Again, it's another inning of work for the second pitcher of the game in Sam Aguilar, who began this game as the starting shortstop. The sophomore connects on the outside for a strike. 1-2 count now against Katayama. Trying to lead things off here for the Bridgemen in the bottom of the 6th inning with the game tied. Swings and misses at the high heat. And Aguilar retires Katayama to begin the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, that was a great sequence of pitches there. He threw a real tough pitch low and away, and then he went up the ladder on him with a little bit of zip on it. That's a really, tough at-bat there.
That'll bring up Joseph Rosa. Rosa 0 for 1 this afternoon with a pair of walks. Grounded out to short his last time up. On a nice defensive play by Aguilar, who's now pitching to him. Gets the high inside corner strike. Interesting call there, Coach. And it's now 0-1 against Rosa. Rosa will fly that one into right field for a base hit. Going the opposite way with it. And getting a 1-out hit, and now a 1-out base runner for Fort Lee here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Rosa showed how strong he is. He muscled that one out there, and now they got something going.
Rosa's first base hit of the afternoon, as Rosa continues his hot hitting of this season, as he came in hitting .412 on the season, now collecting his 8th hit of the year. That'll bring up Dylan Schulman. Schulman, the cleanup hitter, as the throw over to first. Not in time, as Ridgefield Park and their coaching staff not happy right now. They thought that the pickoff move had gotten Rosa as he was leaning more towards second. We have seen this pickoff move, Coach, for Aguilar, and he nearly got that second out quickly.
It's a real good one.
Fires that one in for a strike against Schulman.
On that play, though, the only person that matters to make the call was the one who called him safe.
I know in your time as head coach at Hackensack, you never complained about a call to an umpire.
I don't know where you heard that. Yeah, I was at Hackensack. I was at quite a few places, and umpires were not known to be my friends.
As that pitch laying off and the ball up high. Now, you don't really have to contend with any umpires then in your other job right now as a outstanding bowling coach at Fairleigh Dickinson, as you just made it into the NCAA tournament again. You don't have to worry about balls and strikes there.
No, we don't. I worry about strikes, though. They're not bowling balls. But, no, there are, believe it or not, we have officials. And, they're there to make sure everybody follows the rules. And once in a while, we have a little debate.
A cordial debate, to say the least.
Yes.
As Aguilar trying to break that one in at the knees, and Schulman doing a great job of laying off that pitch. I could see Aguilar frustrated. He wanted that pitch. With a runner down at first, one away here in the bottom of the 6th inning in a tie game. Both teams trying to break losing streaks on the season, get their first win since April 24th. Schulman fouls that one back.
Battling in there, that's what you got to do. Force the pitcher to throw more pitches, right? He came in from shortstop. So, he's just going to rear back and throw as hard as he can. So, it's pretty predictable.
Fort Lee looking for their first home win of the season. Ridgefield Park looking for their first road win of the season. And Schulman battling all the way, draws the walk against Aguilar. And that will push the potential go-ahead run down to second base. Runners at first and second with one out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
That was a great at-bat by Dylan Shulman right there. Just exactly what needed to do. And
That'll bring up Stefano Casal, the first baseman who had a hit his last time up in the 5th inning. Can he get a base hit here to possibly bring home the go-ahead run? First pitch is a breaking ball strike at the knees. 0-1 the count against Casal.
Same thing as earlier in the day. Second baseman is just camping behind second base, that big hole on that side of the field.
Runners at first and second, one away. 0-1 count here against Casal. Casal lining that one into right field for a base hit. Rounding third and going ahead to score is Fort Lee. The throw down to third, not in time, as Shulman jumps back onto the bag. And Stefano Casal has given the Bridgemen the lead with a big RBI single to right field.
All around, what a great play. That was the batter, Casal, went with the pitch to right field. Base runners aggressively taking extra bases. And then Casal backdoor, taking the extra base on an errant throw.
6-5 lead now for the Bridgemen with runners at second and third, still with only one out here in the bottom of the 6th. So they have taken the lead here, and they will lead definitely by at least one run heading into the 7th inning, trying to close out what would be a great come-from-behind home victory here in Fort Lee. Rivera trying to add to the account here for the Bridgemen. He sees that one go across the plate for a strike.
Every coach's best friend are tack on runs. That's what we got to get here. Two ducks in the pond.
Rivera 0 for 2 with a walk here this afternoon. Runners at second and third. Rivera swinging and missing at that one. Kind of was in between. Didn't see if he was 100% at swinging at that pitch. Kind of went around and got caught in no man's land.
Yeah, it was a tough pitch, low and away. Let's hope if he gets it again, he goes with it.
Aguilar looking for his second strikeout of this inning, but behind now in the game. Missing high and in tight.
Right, and Ridgefield Park, they have the infield in, so that adds like 100 points to a batting average automatically, just with lack of range.
Casal standing down at second base. Shulman standing at third. Fort Lee in desperate need of some insurance runs. They have taken the lead in this game, though, thanks to Casal's RBI. But they're looking to pad on here and get a little more breathing room before heading into the top of the 7th inning. Rivera laying off that low one. Good eye at the plate there by Rivera. Hitting .357 on the season for the third baseman. Again, laying off that one as it skitters to the backstop. Shulman taking a look from third base, electing not to be aggressive and try to score in the wild pitch. That will be another walk, and now, Coach, the bases are loaded full of Bridgemen, with a chance here, once again, with even a simple fly ball, could bring home that big insurance run.
Yeah, Ridgefield Park stays all four infielders playing up. They're not playing for a double play. So that means the play is going home.
Baracos, another opportunity here with the bases loaded. Last time he batted, in the 5th inning, he had the bases loaded, but he popped up to first base. Now a chance to make amends as Achilles Baracos 1 for 3 this afternoon with his base hit coming in the 4th inning after a great plate appearance. Aguilar stepping off.
Sal has a huge lead at second base, and rightfully so. You can see where the infielders are. Nobody can hold them on.
Low pitch, missing. And it's interesting, Coach, to see how Aguilar started off this inning with a strikeout of Katayama, but now, since that opening out was retired, has given up a single, a walk, an RBI single to Casal, and now another walk to Rivera.
It's real tough to maintain command, when runners on base, particularly in this big spot. It's a huge spot, right? He comes into the game tied. Now they're falling behind. There's a lot of pressure on him right now.
1-1 count after Baracos foul tipped that one into the catcher's mitt. Bases loaded, one out here, bottom of the 6th. 1-run lead for Fort Lee. Good job by Dembski of keeping that from going wild. Shulman, though, has not been ultra aggressive and trying to get down the line here, probably to score on a wild pitch. 2-1 count now against Barakos. Flies that one into right field. That's going to be trouble as that will fall, and looks like it will just hook foul.
Oh, that would have been a great one for the Bridgemen there. Ball was in no man's land there. They call that the Bermuda Triangle, where there's 3 players out there and nobody can get there. It's a real tough play. Everybody running, sprinting there.
That would have scored 2 easily if that had fallen just fair.
Yep.
Instead, it's now 2 strikes against Barakos as Aguilar looking to commandeer his second out of the inning. Barakos swings and misses, and there is a big second out for Aguilar, just what he needed, his second strikeout of the inning. And now it's bases loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Hey, Barakos, aggressive at bat, and try to get the job done. Pitcher went up the ladder on him. Good pitch. Get him out.
Now it brings up the hero so far in this game of Adrian McCrary. McCrary had that big 2-out single that drove in 2 in the 5th inning. Takes the first pitch he sees at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Irizarry then fouled with an RBI single off the glove of the third baseman, De La Cruz, that tied the game up at that point 5-5, but if not for the exploits of McCrary, Fort Lee would still be trailing. Takes that second pitch for a strike, and quickly the catcher behind in the count, 0-2.
All right, so now he has to shorten up right now. 2-strike hitting, just trying to make contact.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, 0-2 pitch. Taking for a strike 3, looking in the outside corner as Aguilar battles back, surrendering only 1 run there in the bottom of the 6th. So Fort Lee will take the lead, but will take a 1-run lead with them, trying to secure their second win of the season as we head to the top of the 7th.
Hey, that was a great pitch. Really tough to hit. Great pitch. All props to the pitcher on that one.
So we'll see if the Bridgemen have enough here to get across the finish line as they take a 6-5 lead into the top of the 7th. And once again, it's going to be Keizo Katayama towing the rubber here at home to try to give the Bridgemen their first win at home this season and to snap a 3-game losing streak on the season. But also, importantly, give them their first league win of the year. Cliffside Park, as we mentioned, atop the standings right now, 4-0 in the division. Dumont 2-0, Dwight Morrow 2-2, Fort Lee right behind them 0-2, and Ridgefield Park 0-4 in league play. And Katayama has been impressive, Coach, since coming into this game for Dylan Shulman. He has secured in 1 inning, 1-2-3 inning. Probably should have had another 1-2-3 inning as well, if not for errors. But he has pitched to his defense. He has not been looking necessarily for the strikeouts, but he's been pitching ground balls and also getting some lazy fly balls as well.
That's correct. He's getting ahead and pitching to contact, and that's the best way, most efficient way to get outs in baseball.
Ridgefield Park will have their 3, 4, and 5 hitters to start things off here in the top of the 7th inning, now trailing for the first time since they were down 1-0 after the first inning. Ridgefield Park had raced out to a 5-1 lead heading to the bottom of the 5th inning before Fort Lee hung a 4 spot on the board to tie the game up at 5-all, and now just pushed across the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 6th. Now it's going to be Richie Martinez, the first baseman. Martinez with a pair of hits in this game. Had a single in the first, had a double, driving in a run in the 4th inning.
Yeah, the big cat, he has his work cut out for him, though. They got 3, 4, 5 up for RP. So the key is you want to get this first guy out, leading lady.
Has not given up a hit so far since coming into this game. There's a strike against Martinez. A couple of flyouts to center field, a ground ball to third, got him out of the 5th inning, 1-2-3. And then in the last inning, had a couple of ground balls to second. And not for an error, he would have retired Ridgefield Park in order as well. And there's a late breaking curveball inside for a strike as Martinez voices his displeasure. He's behind in the count now, 1-2. Katayama nods his head into McCrary. Here's the 1-2. just missed inside as he jammed the hitter. 2-2.
That's a great call. Great sequence. Up and in after that late breaking curve. Let's see where he goes now. I think he's going to go low and away.
Leadoff hitter here of the 7th inning. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the high heat. Martinez went chasing after that one as Katayama retires the leadoff hitter that he faces for the 3rd consecutive inning, 1 away.
I was dead wrong. Up the ladder worked better.
Katayama's first strikeout since coming into this game in relief of Dylan Shulman, who went the first 4 innings of work. 4th place hitter, the cleanup hitter, Joel Freddy De La Cruz, the 3rd baseman. De La Cruz looking for his first hit of the game. Had a ground out in the 1st, flew out to center in the 3rd, and reached safely with a walk in the 4th inning. He'll fly that one to right field, circling underneath it, and eventually making the putout. And now Fort Lee 1 out away from securing a come-from-behind victory.
Again, the big cat doing his job, throwing strikes, getting ahead, pitching to contact.
And this will bring up the biggest threat in this lineup today, Sammy Aguilar. Of course, as fate would have it. Aguilar who had that big inside-the-park 2-run homer back in the 3rd inning and a base hit in the 2nd. Swings and misses at the low pitch from Katayama. 0-1 the count.
Hey, hitter's real aggressive right now. He's trying to tie the game himself. Start off with a breaking pitch. Great call.
That time, just sends it a little too high and forcing Aguilar to duck down underneath that pitch. 1-1 the count. As the hard rain has subsided a bit here, but Fort Lee not minding the weather. They're trying to get to the finish line, the promised land here, and take this first game of back-to-back meetings against Ridgefield Park. The 2-1. Aguilar lofts that into left field, and it gets past the left fielder. Backed up by Park, and Aguilar will use his speed to get into second base, as that almost looked like, Coach, it was going to hang up just enough to be the final out of the game, as it just got past the left fielder, Nakajima.
Well, in that case right there, Fort Lee should have been on a no doubles defense. Outfield should be a little bit deeper than normal to make sure all the balls are in front. So it's a single. With 2 outs, the percentages are like 15% that you need 3 straight hits to score a run. So now they just need 2 hits. And let's see if the big cat can get it done.
Dembski, the catcher, sees that first one break in for a strike at the knees, 0-1. Dembski had an RBI single back in the 2nd inning, drew a walk in the 3rd, and flew out to center field his last time up in the 5th inning. So Sammy Aguilar, very fast, standing at second base, 2 away here in the top of the 7th inning. That pitch is low, handled nicely by McCrary, 1-1 the count. With Aguilar's speed, a simple base hit might be enough to score him and get that tying run across home plate. Fort Lee in search of just the final out of the game to win their 2nd game of the season. The 1-1 breaking ball missing low. Now 2-1 for Dembski.
Well, there's a pinch runner now at second base because of the pitcher, Aguilar. He gets a speed-up runner there. And this guy's been on the bench, so he might be ripe for a pick.
Just missing on the outside. McCrary really taking his time to frame that one. The umpire not buying it. 3-1 the count now against Dembski. There's a fly ball. Here's an opportunity to end the game for Fort Lee. Venturing out to make the play is Shulman, and the ball game is over. And Fort Lee resilient here at home. They turn a 5-1 deficit into a 6-5 come-from-behind victory and bring home, Coach, their 2nd win of the season.
What a great win for the Bridgemen. Come from behind. Nothing better than that. Big win for Coach Kraljic, defeating his alma mater. And, hey, I got to be proud of these guys. They didn't look good going into the 5th, 6th inning, but they definitely turned it around. and got the big W.
And talk a bit about, Coach, the play of Keizo Katayama, who gets the win in relief for Fort Lee. He put up 3 consecutive zeros on the board since coming into this game in the 5th inning. And he was marvelous in helping them, also hitting-wise, get back in the thick of things, eventually to pull off the come-from-behind victory.
Hey, a lot of clutch players, a lot of clutch plays out there for the whole team. It was just a great team win. But the Catman did do a great job. And, hey, there's nothing better than throwing goose eggs up there when your team's scoring runs.
So Fort Lee with a victory will improve to 2-6 on the season, 1-2 in league play. Ridgefield Park with the defeat will fall to 1-8 overall and 0-5 in conference action. So again, the final score here from the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex in Fort Lee 6 and Ridgefield Park 5. For my broadcast partner Mike LoPresti and our producer Dimitri Nanis, I'm Dan Long saying so long. We'll join you next time here for Fort Lee Bridgemen Baseball.